What is happening, everyone? Today I want to talk about a quarterback that, in my opinion, is very scary going into 2021. Now, Russell Wilson, we all know, is an elite talent. Let me tell you why his last 2 years of inconsistent performances worries me right after this intro. When looking at Russell Wilson, we literally see a tale of two quarterbacks over the last two seasons. In 2020, for the first 8 weeks, he was the QB1, averaging over 30.3 points per game, and he was really reliable too. All 8 weeks, he finished as the quarterback one, and he was dominating opposing defenses. People were calling him the MVP. He averaged 318 yards per game, and he looked to be on track for a career season. Well, the second half of the year, he really disappointed, and it was a dramatic drop from his first 8 weeks. If we look at weeks 9 through 16, we see that he finished as QB 12 overall, and that may not be terrible, but his stats across the board just dipped, and he was really unreliable. He was finishing 17 points per game on average. He only had 2 games as a QB1, and his yards per game dipped to 209, which is a huge drop off from the first half of the season. Why he worries me so much is this is not the first time that we have seen this. In 2019, he started the year hot like he did in 2020. From weeks 1 through 8, he was the QB2. And in weeks 9 through 16, he finished as the QB 16 for that stretch. This is really alarming. Well, why is he dipping so dramatically? Well, in 2020, I don't think it had to do with the play selections. From the first half of the year to the second half of the year, his pass attempts per game didn't dip too dramatically. For weeks 1 through 8, he averaged 37 pass attempts per game, and weeks 9 through 16, he averaged 33 pass attempts per game. Basically, the ratio was 60% pass attempts to 40% rush attempts. Well, it could be the fact that the run game was struggling so much. I mean, in the second half of the year, we saw Chris Carson hurt, Carlos Hyde hurt, and at one time there were 4 Seahawks running backs hurt. This is really concerning for me going into 2021 because Chris Carson is set to be a free agent and there's no reliable running backs for this team on the roster. Could it be that Russell Wilson needs a steady run game behind him to consistently put up those top-notch fantasy numbers? Well, I will say this, I'm not going to drop him out of my rankings so much to where people laugh and it's really a big dip, but I am going to put him a little bit lower going into 2021. He'll be at the bottom of that second tier for me, and I won't be looking to draft him unless he's one of the last guys left. It's not because I don't believe in his talent, but again, based on these numbers, it's just too inconsistent from the first half of the year to the second half of the year for me to trust him on a year-long basis. Let me know what you think about Russell Wilson below, and if you think he can have a complete season going into 2021.